Let us breathe together as we commune with fresh waters.
I am Jas, the Spirit Nurturer.
I am Jae The Goddexx. Let us breathe together as we commune with fresh waters.
I am Jas, the Spirit Nurturer.
I am Jae The Goddexx. In this season series of Coming to the Circle, 7 Seeds of Consciousness, Seed 3, I Am the Wisdom of All My Relations, opens us to our stories as wisdom watering life. Enjoy this guided ceremony and receive the integration into wholeness stories gift us with acceptance and responsibilities serving life. Tune into presence and receive. Let us breathe, returning to presence. Let us breathe, returning to the essence of our being. Taking a deep inhale, bringing the breath to the crown. Reciting Ave, hail to the divine. Exhaling with a sigh, honoring the divine. Deep inhale, Ave, sigh. Deep inhale, Ave, sigh. Deep inhale, sigh. Surrendering into a smile as we commune with the presence of our being. We breathe into our self as the presence of the divine.
So let's take a deep breath and get settled in. Bringing the breath to the crown. Tuning into our body, reconnecting with our presence, and embracing the fullness of our being. As we walk with our stories, bringing our stories to the circle, today we are acknowledging I am the wisdom of all my relations. In walking to the circle, we are bringing the totality of our stories. And all of our stories has wisdom and insight and lessons and transformation available for healing. Every story that we share and is experienced is a transformation being activated. So today, in bringing our stories to the circle, I am the wisdom of all my relations. Let us share 1 or 2 words to describe the intention we are bringing to this council today.
The one word that's coming to mind is really presence like my being, bringing myself here. um, like totality, complete wholeness. That is, yeah, that's my intention, or, the words that are coming for how I see it set forth for our conversation.
The word coming up for me is fullness and sharing the fullness of myself that is all the stories within me, sharing that fullness in this space today. That's my intention. In connecting with our stories and bringing our stories to the circle, recognizing that I am the wisdom of all my relations, deeply feel into your belly and deeply feel into every crevice of your being and ask yourself, what is the story in you that wants to be expressed and shared today? What is that story that's wanting to be revealed and to bring forth transformation and healing for all to receive?
I'm like reminded, more so thinking like literally of my life story, but through the lens of my spirit, of the spirit, within. And I don't know, it's just interesting because like this entire time that I've been alive and been navigating this world, it's like my spirit, like I've always been with me. And in terms of like my spiritual journey and having that conscious awareness, it was almost like I finally saw my spirit. Like, okay, now we're on this journey. It was like before that, it was like my physical journey, like journeying this vessel and seeing how that is and gathering experiences, and just being. But it's just interesting because having this new form of awareness and this wisdom gives a lot of responsibility, accountability, and presence to everything. Because like before, I knew exactly what I was doing. And even through every experience I've been through, kind of feeling this resistance or this non-resonance towards it. I didn't have to kind of have all these pieces to see every part, if that makes sense. And speaking specifically about like multi-dimensionality, like being a witness, being holding presence for everything. Because now, like in my life, the ego wants to say force, but like I gotta be the bigger person. And like I feel like that's really what the wisdom that comes forth. Because talking about, I am the wisdom of all my relations. I am all of my relations. I have been, and speaking specifically of like relations, whether that's with another human, with an object, and I'm just saying like that interaction with any type of energy. I'm like, that's an interaction with me. Like that is, what am I receiving from it? What wisdom did I receive from that interaction or that experience? What have I learned? And like speaking like specifically of today, like there's a lot of energy, emotions running through me. But let me dial that back a little bit. Maybe not a lot. It's just some emotions that are running through. And it's almost like I finally hit that point or come to the point where almost like my spirit is ready to serve or take the lead now. Spirit's like, Jasmine, are you ready? Like, I've been here with you. We've been doing this. I let you, have your fun. You can have fun if you choose. But if you're ready to relax, take a seat in the back, I'll take over. And it's like I'm feeling those emotions because I'm like, and I feel like that's something that's not really spoken about, on this journey of, in the beginning, it's like, oh, the universe. Oh, like God, source, like, oh, I'm putting all mine in their hands. But in the totality of it, like, I am the hands. Not like the ego, but like, I am. And as I am the choice. I still choose. No matter what it is, no matter what's happening, I still make the choice. So yeah, I've definitely come to that point of really truly integrating the wisdom of like being on this spiritual journey, being on this journey, on this story of my spirit. And I want to say how much respect my spirit has had for me, I felt there's so many terms, saying spirit, in this vessel, in this form, then expanding further into the soul, into the authentic self. We can talk about that at a different time, but truly choosing to come in this lifetime and witnessing every piece and going through everything and like, yeah, wisdom, there's so much, it's a lot of it's like a lot of responsibility. And we were speaking earlier of like maturity, like the completeness of it. To be wise is like to be completely mature and be bringing in, forgive them, they know not what they do. And forgiving them is forgiving there's been times that I did not know what I did. I wasn't really having that conscious awareness. But looking back, it's, holding that presence and that love and that grace. There's so many things that I see for myself, whether it's been from previous lifetimes or, I can still have the choice to bring it in this lifetime if it's meant to be. But, bringing in the surrender, truly surrendering the ego and the mind, and surrendering all of my experiences. It's like looking at all of my experiences and seeing the energy that has been created amongst them, but allowing them to finally seep into the soil, to kind of bring growth to what I am growing to be, to that which will be. It sounds so easy. It is easy, it is simple, but it's in the midst of it. It can be challenging to just witness everything you've gone through, and just be with it. But that's when the crying, the release of waters comes up, because that's always nourishing to the soil. It's like the waters are coming out, those experiences are falling down into the soil, and that's the watering, that's the feeding the seeds that are ready to be grown. Yeah, wisdom feeds, wisdom waters. And we can have knowledge and information, but once you have a wholeness in the experience, you see all sides, and truly you see it clearly. Like, that's that wisdom. You see it and you accept it, and you know the guidance from it, despite if it kind of goes against what you may not want to do. And sometimes what you may not want to do is that maturity, is that what's the word I'm looking for? I was gonna say discipline, but I really don't want to use discipline. But I mean, it can be a form of like a discipline from those tools and resources, Um, but more so, I guess, discipline for the ego and the mind. Like, that's that's what it is. Yeah, I just keep on going back, when it's saying I am the wisdom of all my relations, because I feel like it's an open, expansive question, or statement, mantra. The wisdom, yeah, definitely is definitely birthed, rebirth, birthed from death. But I'm gonna bring in, my mycelium. I gotta bring them in, because I'm just thinking about, what they do with death. They keep the cycle going. It keeps the cycle going. But it's through choice. It's through knowing the purpose. I'm part of my purpose, and I truly feel like almost like all of our purposes of keep it moving. I mean, that's energy. Keep it moving. Keep it going. Whether that's, I was gonna say stagnant going, like a hamster wheel, or it's like that expansive going into whatever form, or into the next phase. Something that really can't be articulated with the current energy, but as you move into that new energy, then you see it. I'll allow that to sit and settle. And I'm complete with my sharing and story.
Let's take a deep breath and embrace all we have received. I am the wisdom of all my relations. As I'm sitting with this mantra, the story that is coming forward for me is the story of care, and the story of what I'm defining for myself as exquisite care. And what does that look like for me? And I feel this is coming up so prevalent right now, because I feel like it was just my birthday celebration a couple of days ago. And in that experience, in that convergence of all that happened in that moment, it has opened up my awareness to a new level of care for myself. And that feels full circle for where I am right now and how I am learning to love myself. And it's been such a journey in learning to love myself in these years of life. I'm constantly being refined in the presence of love. And that feels like this extremely prominent theme of my life where I have been seeking love outside of me, wondering if that person is my lover, wondering if that person is my soulmate, wondering if that person is my husband, wondering if that person cares for me. I've always been seeking love outside of myself in various different ways. And now I'm at a moment where I'm recognizing the love that I need for myself, and I'm stationing and stabilizing in giving myself that love. And I'm slowing down and taking my time with loving myself. Because with where I am now, I can recognize that I have evolved. I can recognize that I have grown. I can recognize that I have learned. And this is me embracing all the wisdom of my relations. It's in embracing all of the experiences that I have received on my journey in life, and accepting all that it has given to me to grow, and accepting that I have grown, and embracing this me here now that has evolved, that has grown, and that in this moment I'm loving myself in a way that I didn't love myself before. I'm appreciating myself in ways that I took for granted before. Acknowledging my heart, my radiance, my care, acknowledging all of these aspects in me and honoring them. So I feel like for me right now, I'm in a moment of exquisite care for myself. And that feels like I'm feeding myself, my love, my energy, my attention. I'm feeding myself. And the biggest challenge for me for getting to this place with myself has been being displaced. Not having my ancestors' language anymore. Not having my ancestors raise me. Not living in a healthy and safe village. Those were some of the most challenging parts of negotiating and reconciling in this movement towards care and loving myself. And on this journey of reconnecting with who I am, a big part of this love that I am now feeling and receiving is because of how much time I spend connecting with my ancestors. The more I connect with them, the more I want to be with them, the more I want to feel them, the more I want to know them and have them in my life, the more my sense of caring for myself evolves beyond what I've been told and taught in this Western country. And so the spiritual nurturance that I'm receiving from my ancestors is deeply rooted in how I am feeling love in my being. And that's where I am. That's the story that's coming forward right now. It's the story of the love of my ancestors nourishing and evolving me. And how the act of caring for myself is a form of resistance because their survivorship ensured my breath. So this exquisite care for me is also a act of embracing life and embracing my life, honoring my life because I'm alive. That's the story I'm sharing today. I'm complete. So taking in a deep breath. Embracing and receiving, allowing, accepting, and integrating. Share your story of how you are being served by owning your life story.
How am I being served by owning my life story? You know, I'm gonna be honest and keep it real because I've been in some resistance with owning my life story. Literally, I just gotten to a point where I think I'm ready to own it. I mean, I was gonna say there's no choice, but I made the choice. And what I say and what I mean, like me just getting here in that resistance, it's almost like it makes me think about sitting on the fence. You know, trying to I don't want to say fit in with this world, but then also wanting to be of service to my life's work, my purpose, the work of my spirit. You know, it's real out here. Like you know, I will say that I'm thankful for all the experiences and all of those stories that I look back on, because I literally would not be here. We would not be having this conversation. That's the truth. So truly, I mean, I am owning my life story because I am here. But in me saying that, I'm in this space of completely owning where it's going. It's almost like, it's like seeing my life story, looking at all these stories, all of the storage, and then like traveling along and then reaching a place where all the storage is, it's like, well, this is the end of the storage. This is the end of the story. Right now, you can keep on going, or if you want to go in a circle and go back to all the other stories. And like as a master, let's be real, you don't really experience the exact same story. It's going to be like another level of experience, of mastery, of wisdom. That's like that's the, what's the word? I was gonna say trick. I want to say joker. Like you thought you was gonna, not do this work. But nah, we made a choice before you came here. You about to get this done. So you better own all this, all that you about to experience, all that you're going through. Because like it's easy to just want to stay in a story. Yeah, literally stay in a story. Stay in a pattern. I'm thinking of it's so interesting because many movies play with this energy. And maybe it's also energy of people describing the dimension of hell, of almost like replaying a story, like replaying the stories on replay, like it's on replay, it's on replay, it's on replay. As I say that, I was gonna say, well, that's what I may want. No, it's not what I want. Because thinking about like, I want to be comfortable in these experiences, some experiences that I had, but to save the replay, no, like I don't want the replay. I'm be honest, no, no, no. And that's not even a choice I made. So like, that's not even, nah. But owning life story is like, I guess, finally crossing, like choosing a side of the fence. Like sitting on the fence, having these stories, experiences. And nonetheless, we're always going to have experiences. But what are we choosing to do with those experiences? Are we choosing to own up to them and what happened? Or are we just choosing to just not even be? Not be present or not be with them? Everything that I've gathered up until this point, and I was reminded of it, yesterday in multiple ways, in different ways. It's like either you're going to do the work or you're not going to do the work. And like, again, it sounds easy, it sounds simple, but being in this vessel, thinking of the movie Avatar now, but like truly being in this vessel, in this form, and like almost seeing things in a different eye, seeing things differently in relation to the life that is presented in front of me. And it's literally like a dream. Almost like having an upper hand of knowing all that is and having all these other energy around you that is there. And I'm gonna say this and it may sound a little different, but it makes me think about like, yeah, truly being on a mission, and almost like a video game, being on this mission and there's like these other people that are there and they're just playing their part. But you got a mission, like these people are just playing their parts. And we get thanks for them playing their parts. As I am playing my part too. As the work that I'm doing is the part. That can definitely be like broken down and split up, but like it's like literally we're all playing these parts. I'm playing this part. And it's not like playing, but it's like literally like I made a choice. I got work that I was chosen, that I chose to do. I can choose to do it if I please, or I can maybe a different lifetime. And others chose work too, but it's in a different form. Truly like a puzzle, like, you know, all puzzle pieces don't look the same, yet they still connect, you know, to one, to the wholeness of the picture. And, you know, I really want to bring in the piece of completely owning my story, despite what it may look like. And knowing that through owning my story, I would be completely served. I would be complete. I would be completely satisfied, satiated. And that's something that I actually came through this week. I noticed that like literally when I am in my work and doing my work, and my work is my story, I feel like I'm full, like I'm complete, like I feel good. I'm like, oh, and it's, if you know, then you know what that feeling is and you know what that energy is. But in owning all of it, it's not a piece of like, okay, do I want to own like this part of it? What about that part? How's that going to happen if I own that? Am I going to be okay? I was going to say like, it's almost like a miraculous journey. It's like a, truly it's like an unfolding. It's a flowering. But I'm here today and I'm being served everything that I need. I'm honoring all pieces and aspects of me. And this was a journey to get here. But yeah, the timing is divine and it's perfect and it's amazing. Because despite all the choices I made and everything I've been through, I've always been supported. I've always been supported. And that's one thing I can say throughout all of my stories, all of the wisdom, is that there is always support there. I mean, I know there will always be support. And that is the energy that really contains, or that I can surrender into as I move through my story. Nonetheless, like, it will always be reciprocated of, as I serve, I would be served. I would be supported. I would be loved. There's definitely many ways like this can be expanded and spoken about. It's like telling the story of a galaxy, of a cosmos. Like, do we know how big that is? Like, you know how like vast that space is? Yeah. But yeah, that's, you know, that's how I'm being served, by owning my story, by owning my life story. Shoot, the fact that I'm owning it is that reciprocity. Like, is the service, is the support, the love. But I will bring in that sincerity, love, and presence, you know, with sincerity, love, and presence. It's not no like, oh, I'm just gonna own it. I mean, we're speaking energy here. It's like the presence. It's the literally the sincerity. It's that love. It's that owning my story is being, is my existence. So I'm complete with that, with my story.
So taking a breath and integrating the story we have received and the energy that is unfurling within us. And sitting with this prompt of how I am being served by owning my life story, what I see as an image coming to my mind is I'm walking in a forest. And I'm walking in this forest, and the stories that I have within myself, these are the collections of insights and lessons and wisdoms that I have gathered on this walk that I am on. And so the way that I'm being served is with the energy of acceptance. And in accepting my life story, in accepting all that I have experienced, in accepting the mistakes that I told myself I made, in accepting the learning of those alleged mistakes, I am being served, because now in the acceptance, in this energy of acceptance, my story is not just for me. And my story doesn't just belong to me. In the acceptance, my life is serving. The story of my life is a service. In the acceptance energy, the story of my life is a service. And so in sitting and digesting and recognizing that the story of my life is service, that in itself serves my being. It's in the energy and the recognition that my life is a service, that my living being serves, that all that I walk within me serves life. And I feel like this place that I'm in with my life story and in the acceptance of my life story, this place that I am in is attributing to how I am evolving the experience of life around me. It's in the way that I experience and express joy. It's in the way that I experience and bring to myself pleasure. It's in the way that I honor what my needs are. All of these ways of my being, I now recognize it as a service to life and serving life. And so when I am allowing myself to accept the joy that I am serving life. And in allowing myself to be happy, I am serving life. And in allowing myself to feel all the things inside of me, I am serving life. My life is a service. Living is a service. Being alive is a service. And so I feel this recognition that I am the wisdom of all my relations, this recognition of bringing my stories to the circle. In this recognition, I am honoring life. And I'm really grateful that I can recognize this moment that I am experiencing with myself as this genesis for life. And that it is serving me as I am serving life. And we come back to this theme of reciprocity. And how we are experiencing reciprocity with life. For me, it's in the energy of acceptance and accepting all that I walk with as serving life. And in that breath, recognizing that every breath is a service to life. Every breath that I have in my body is a service to life. So I think that the way that I am owning my life story, the way that it is serving me is by recognizing that it is meant to serve all of us. That my life story is meant to serve us all. And I feel that is what is generating more life within me, because now there is no shame in my story. There's just integration into my wholeness. And that's my sharing for now. As we breathe in each other's stories, recognize within you the connections with your being, with your expression, with your life. And share, as we weave, share what did your being resonate with?
I'll start with when you shared and brought forth your ancestors' language. And it's interesting because, you know, when we speak about our ancestors, they lived on the same land we lived on, or the same, I want to say planet, but like literally the same. They've stepped foot, they've connected with the same land, the ground, energy that is emanating from where we are. And there's this connection that I see, even with what you just shared of honoring life and service to life, because honestly, when you said the ancestors' language, there was like this wave of cool air that came over near me, as if the wind had entered my room. But it was very cold, and it seems that our service to life is our service to our ancestors, as like their energy is roaming, you know, via the winds or the elements, via nature. And through us honoring our life and our being, honoring this vessel that was birthed from lineages of our ancestors, it's like that joy that emanates to them. There's definitely been the talk, or more so we know, with certain areas on Earth, on specific land, that there's like energy centers. There's energy that is gathered that is waiting to be moved, and some of that energy is our ancestors. And thinking of that cold presence that I felt, I'm thinking of like cold and warmth. Warmth is so soft, and the cold is like this wake up, as if, you know, our breath brings this warmth to possibly the coldness that pieces of the energy of our ancestors is here. That is looking or waiting for that healing, waiting for that service, maybe waiting for that life, that breath. And I just, yeah, feel this connection of like honoring life and like being in service to life is the language of our ancestors. Because when we speak about language, you know, it's language is any form, you know, speaking verbal, through speaking through our truth, through this chakra. It's something that we all know, but language is truly that energy. And as we honor our life and every piece of our life, you know, really giving thanks and allowing it to guide us, is bringing forth the language of our ancestors. Is like, this is me speaking. This is my presence, my being is my ancestor, is the language, is my culture, is my ritual, is my, there's like a word I'm looking for, but I guess language is going to be it. And it's unique to my ancestors. It's like who I am is maybe the language that my ancestors would have wanted to speak or exemplify or express. But they are, you know, speaking beyond time and finally opening that curtain, opening that veil and looking in time and speaking that language of our ancestors that they resonate with. You know, that's the work, you know, me as the wisdom of all my relations is the communication, is the is the way that I'm, I guess we can say, being a piece to the picture of my ancestors, piece to that puzzle, piece to the wholeness of it. Through living my work, through honoring my spirit, is truly honoring my ancestors. Honoring me. Yeah, so when you shared that, I really felt that. And then another piece of, when you're speaking about story, I've written down, you know, our stories equal guidance, you know. It's like, why judge a story or experience we went through when it's guiding us to where we're going now? You know, like, oh, I shouldn't have gone through that. Like, oh, that shouldn't have happened. Oh, this should have happened. But like in speaking for what that story was, it's really not having that wisdom of like right now. But through allowing, like, you know, my story and our stories to guide, to be guidance, is, as you said, that acceptance is like accepting where I'm going and trusting. You also said nourishment and involvement. You know, our stories really do nourish. I mean, completely nourish us, and they support our evolvement as long as we allow the nourishment. We allow it to seep within, you know, the cells, every part of this physical vessel, so that it can also evolve. So, and then I'll bring in this last piece of exquisite care, because I like that exquisite care. Like, it's like I'm looking for words to add to it, but like I feel like exquisite care like is the words, you know. Truly, it's like that honoring through care. It's like tending to me, tending to my story, tending to my storage, tending to like cleaning, like openness, and like this fresh, like this breath of life. So that's how I see the weaving of what you shared, and what came up for me in our stories. And I'm complete.
Thank you for weaving so powerfully. I'm really connecting with that. Our service to life is the language of our ancestors, and I'm really enjoying that. And I think one of the beauty of deeply listening to each other's stories is finding connection with each other and with ourselves. So I'm really enjoying that connection that you brought forward for all of us. The part that I actually really connected with from your first sharing, you said wisdom waters. And I really like that. I really like that phraseology. I really connected with that imagery. And I feel like I connected with that so much because as we're speaking of the stories we bring to the circle, and recognizing that I am the wisdom of all my relations, and basking in this energy, acknowledging that wisdom waters for me feels exactly like that moist soil, that fertile soil that we are watering with our wisdom, so there can be growth, so that there is regeneration, and so that there is this generative process that we are engaged in with life. And I'm really enjoying us talking about wisdom watering. And I'm really embracing that and accepting how that is blossoming and flowering inside of me, how that is softening me, making me more gentle, making me more loving in my presence. Because in those two words being strung together, there's an energy, a presence of compassion and love and mercy. Because as we walk and come to the circle with all our stories, we acknowledge all who are walking with their stories as well. And we are acknowledging all stories as equal in its power and presence to I want to say, to create fertile soil for growth and regeneration of life. And I feel like that's a really big energy and presence to really unpack right now, because it's the beauty of stories and weaving and connection is that as we go about our daily life after this listening, it continues to blossom and unfold within us and take precedence in our being. And so I'm always grateful for the spirit coming through your being and appreciating the language of your ancestors in this space that we share. And I'm going to close my weaving with that. I'm grateful for all of the stories and the sharings, the energies, and the wisdom that has been watering us today. As we close our council, as we close our circle for today, share one or two words to describe how you feel in this moment.
One word for how I'm feeling in this moment is I really want to say almost like sensitivity, but like literally of like feeling everything, you know? Like being attuned to all that's around me and within my body. And then also accepting it and like this surrender. So through this lens of sensitivity is really acceptance and surrender. And being okay and grateful. So yeah, I'm complete with the words that have come through.
the words that I am intending to use to describe how I am feeling are open to receiving the abundant energy here for me, and open to receiving what will unfurl and blossom after these stories. I am open to feeling the fullness of myself as it evolves. And for me, that means hearing and connecting with siblings and allowing your story and my story to weave and take me somewhere I haven't been before. And I think that's the energy of this openness that is pulling me forward. It's the energy of also excitement to be and to receive. So as we take a deep breath and embrace and receive all that has been shared here today, let's seal our counsel with a deep Avesa breath. Let's bringing our breath to the crown and deeply inhale. Let's take our deep breath. Welcoming the energy and embracing the tenderness available for us here as we allow ourselves to be moved and be touched in connection and grace and spirit. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed the stories shared and feel inspired to connect deeper with what was revealed to you. Let us know how you resonated with this week's episode and email us at symbioticwaters@gmail.com. You can hear the rest of Coming to the Circle 7 Seeds of Consciousness by joining our Freshwater Society membership. For $8 a month, you can listen to Freshwaters the podcast and join us in our monthly self-care council. Our self-care council is a communal healing circle we create together by showing up and witnessing each other in care. Find us on IG and TikTok at Symbiotic Waters and Moving Earth Convergent Waters on YouTube. As we build together, we welcome siblings to join our society membership, and let's grow together. To learn more, email symbioticwaters@gmail.com. Until we gather again in the abundant presence, peace.